You guys, we have got to talk about Love Island because obviously if you are watching this show, ever since this past weekend, like things have been crazy. Cierra got the boot, and honestly, we need to dive into what's happened with Cierra, what's been said on the internet. There's been so much that has come out. People are waiting for her to say something now that she's probably gotten her phone back. It's a whole crazy situation, and I was gonna wait to talk about this in the weekly TEACAP, but honestly, this is just so crazy that we needed an emergency Love Island update. Last season of Love Island was one of the most talked about seasons in Love Island USA history. It went absolutely viral, and so a ton of people were tuned in this season to see what might go down. And while a lot of people doubted this season and thought that it was never going to live up to the hype of last season, it has surpassed last season in numbers within the first few weeks. So many people were tuning in and so many moments from the season have gone viral, but it hasn't been without its drama. And recently, one of the Islanders was kicked off of the show. And it wasn't the first time it's happened this season, but it was a pretty big deal because she had made it pretty far into the season. And I've been talking about Love Island this season in my weekly TEACAPs, but things have really hit the fan. So we are talking about what the heck has gone down this week. And last time we talked about Cierra, she was coming under fire for this Instagram story that she posted in the past where she explained why she was getting Botox. She wrote, "Botox isn't for everyone, but I love it for me. I am incredibly expressive with my face and I catch myself frowning for no reason throughout the day when I'm focusing on something or thinking too hard, lol. I can also be a little when I laugh/smile, so I love getting a mini brow lift to open up my eyes and get that snatched look. This is not me encouraging, but more so sharing." People had found this in her saved stories on Instagram and they were like, not her using a slur for Asians. And worst of all, it wasn't even just her using this slur to be like, oh, I'm looking a little today. It was her saying that the reason why she was getting Botox was to open up her eyes so she didn't look this way, which made it even worse. Prior to this, Cierra had started the season of Love Island strong. She came in as a bombshell and she coupled up with Nick after he chose to leave his original connection, Bella. People liked Cierra and the vibes she was giving at first. She was giving this cool girl energy. Her friend MJ was running her Instagram account, and people loved the fun posting style of her captions to react and post about each episode on Cierra's account. But seeing Cierra's friends as this group of influencers soon turned the tide against her as people were like, this doesn't feel genuine. It feels very plotted and planned, like she's in this for the money, she's very PR and just wants to be with Nick to get to the end, and people were starting to feel like she wasn't authentic and she was just on the show to become an influencer like her friends. People then started to not like her friends' captions as she neared 1 million followers on Instagram, and MJ clapped back at haters saying she's not going to think the captions are cringe when she hits 1 million followers and comes out of the villa.
Oh my god, she's gonna be so embarrassed. When she hits 1 million followers in the next 5 days, do you think she's gonna feel embarrassed? Wait.
This kind of jinxed things because as she posted this, it was also the same time where episodes were airing where people felt like Cierra and Shelly and Alandria were being mean girls in the villa. So the hate towards them was amplified as they were like not looking good on the show. People urged the producers to remove Cierra for her racist Instagram post as they had previously removed another Islander this season. Yulissa's journey on Love Island was over before it really began. After entering the villa and coupling up with Ace, the vibes shifted fast when old podcast clips resurfaced showing Yulissa casually saying the N-word. Fans were not having it. The backlash online was instant and viewers demanded that she be removed from the show, and the producers listened. In the second episode this season, it was not dramatic at all, no flashy goodbye. They simply just said in a voiceover that Yulissa left the villa and gave no explanation. It was quiet, but a necessary exit to viewers, and they wanted the same standard to apply to Cierra. Cierra had made it way farther into the season than Yulissa though, which I think played a part in them not pulling her upon the start of the conversations around her past posts. She had just closed things off with Nick, and no other couple had closed off, and there was about a week left into the show, but Monday, during the episode, they quietly said that Cierra had left the villa due to a personal reason, and everyone wondered what the heck they actually told the Islanders. Nick was down overhearing her leaving, but he quickly was laughing and coupling up with Alandria, who a lot of people have been rooting for to be together since the beginning. But upon her exit being announced, her family took over her Instagram and wrote on her story saying, "As Cierra's parents, this has been one of the most painful weeks of our lives. We've seen the posts, the headlines, the hurt, and the hate, and while Cierra hasn't seen any of it yet, we have, and so have the people who love her. We're not here to justify or ignore what's surfaced. We understand why people are upset and we know accountability matters, but what's happening online right now has gone far beyond that. The threats, the cruel messages, the attacks on her family, her friends, even her supporters, it's heartbreaking, it's uncalled for, and no one deserves that kind of hate no matter what mistake they've made." While Cierra is not in the villa anymore, she is still away. She hasn't had the chance to process any of this or speak for herself, but we know our daughter, we know her heart, and when she returns, we believe she'll face this with honesty, growth, and grace. While she'll always be our little girl, she's also a woman, one who will take responsibility in her own time and her own voice. Until then, we're simply asking for compassion, for patience, for basic human decency, not just for her, but for everyone caught in the middle of this. Thank you to those who've continued to show love, even when it's not easy, with love, her family. They also took Love Island out of her Instagram bio, and her friend MJ has also since spoken out saying, "Hi guys, I see your comments concerning someone I love and care about. I want to be clear that I do not condone racism, bigotry, or hate in any way, shape, or form, nor was I aware of the recent screenshots until they were posted. I discovered it at the same time as all of you did. I cannot speak for anybody or make any statements besides my own, and decided to take a step back from running her account. I was asked by her family to turn off comments and refrain from speaking on her behalf. The situation has been really difficult and I'm still processing everything." Johnny, who is also friends with Cierra, she was actually on Love Island season 5. She addressed the situation posting on Instagram, "I'm sure many of you have noticed that I've refrained from talking about Love Island and have stopped publicly supporting my friend on the show. This was after I saw a post involving a racial slur for the first time. I loved supporting her during her time on the show, but once I came across that post, I felt it was necessary to take a step back. I do not support or condone that kind of language, never have, never will. Racism in any form is unacceptable, and to be clear, unless you are Asian, you do not get to decide whether or not that word is offensive. Anyone who isn't Asian should not be speaking about the seriousness or impact of that word." And Bella, who was on this season of Love Island, also spoke out on the situation, writing on her Instagram story saying, "As a proud Asian American woman, I am deeply appreciative of the Love Island USA producers for taking a stand and making it clear that racism of any kind is not tolerated. When I first saw what my fellow Islanders said on their social media pages, I was incredibly heartbroken, but I wanted to wait until they left the villa and were able to address the situation. Genuinely apologize and commit to learning from the experience before deciding how our relationship would look moving forward. As screenshots continued to surface, it became clear that I could no longer support this person and made the decision to unfollow them a couple days ago. Asian hate is oftentimes overlooked and dismissed, but being a first-generation American, I've personally witnessed and experienced how real and hurtful comments like these are. It is my hope that this situation can help shed light on how big of an issue anti-Asian hate actually is. Just like so many other Asian Americans, my mom immigrated here to create a better life for her and her future family. Knowing the hardships she and so many others have faced, I could not be silent any longer, because what good is this amazing platform God and all of you have given me if I don't use it to amplify the voices of my community? I do not condone bigotry or racism of any kind, but I also don't condone hate either. Please think twice before leaving unkind comments to or about this person. I love you all so much." And we also heard from Zach on Tuesday night as he went live on TikTok and talked about how the producers told the Islanders Cierra was leaving.
Cierra left. They gathered us all together. The producers gathered us all together, and then they said, unfortunately, Cierra has broken some of the policies of our guidelines. She'll no longer be here in the villa, and that's the only information we can give you guys. So when we was all in there, you know, we didn't really know what was going on, but that's the only thing they said to us. And you know, if we needed somebody to speak to, go speak to them. But yeah, Nick was really upset that she left, but at the same time, he couldn't really be super upset, or like he couldn't express how he feels about the situation until he found out what she's done or what she said. Because at the end of the day, as much as like you want to feel sorry for somebody, if you know they got removed from a show for saying something offensive, you can't really feel sorry for them until you know what it is.
So that explains probably why Nick didn't try to leave with her and why he was able to just like move on with Alandria seemingly without any guilt. Even though I feel like he had no guilt during Casa when they were coupled up, I think if Alandria had been less about Taylor, then he would have gone fully in on her. But one thing is for sure, and that is that his family is rooting for him and Alandria to be together, which if I was Cierra, on top of everything, like getting canceled, getting kicked off of the show, leaving the guy I was on the show with, and now to see him be coupled up with like one of your best friends from the show, and then on top of that, his family is like so happy about it. Like, just take my phone back. Like, Nick's family posted this video cheering at the fact that him and Alandria were recoupled together, and they literally posted this to the song War Is Over. And then on top of that, they posted this on Instagram, which is a cake of him and Alandria kissing, and they captioned it, Nicky Poo plus Alandria equals Baby Marcel, the collab of the year, to be honest. Now, in pretty huge news, Cierra did end up addressing everything on Wednesday afternoon. She posted on Instagram a video where she wanted to say that she was not going to be making an apology video. She was going to be making an accountability video. And she wanted to explain that she had been told that she shouldn't be using that word. And she took that story down right after she heard what that word really meant. And she showed DMs between her and someone that followed her that let her know that she shouldn't be using this word. And I will say, I feel like when I first heard about this whole story with Cierra and this Instagram story, I thought that this was a saved Instagram story that was still up on her Instagram as, you know, her friends were running her Instagram while she was on Love Island, and that this was something that, you know, she didn't take down. But Cierra is saying that as soon as she heard that she shouldn't be using that word, that she took this down immediately.
Deeply, truly, honestly, so sorry. I had no idea that the word held as much pain, as much harm, and came with the history that it did, or I never would have used it. I had no ill intention when I was using it, but that's absolutely no excuse, because intent doesn't excuse ignorance. It just doesn't. And I just need you to know that I am so sorry. But this is not an apology video. This is an accountability video. That it was a slur, I had no idea of its meaning. And it wasn't until I made the public story post in 2024 when a follower of mine reached out to correct me and let me know that what I was saying was incredibly hurtful. It was a derogatory term. It was a slur. And in that moment, I was embarrassed. I, of course, immediately deleted the post. I was apologetic, and I educated not only myself on the true meaning and the history of the word, but also anyone around me who was accidentally holding space for this slur. When this person did message me, which I'm so grateful that she did, I had a good conversation with her about it. I made the correction immediately. The word was immediately removed from my vocabulary. And I think right now there are tons of things floating around, different screenshots with different timestamps, and fueling this narrative that I sort of doubled down once people tried to correct me and was like, oh, like, I don't know, I'm still gonna use it. But that was not the case. Like, the truth is that in that moment, the lesson was learned, the word was removed, and it was a true learning moment for me. And I think since that moment, I've done so much growing as an individual, and I've tried my best to educate others who might be accidentally holding space for these types of words.
So it seems she is saying that this is something that she took down when she first heard that she should not be using this word, and that this just all happened to resurface again when she was on Love Island. But that is what Cierra had to say in her video where she was addressing all of this. Obviously, this was a huge conversation last night because a lot of people are watching Love Island. They are tuned in, and this was a huge story that has gone viral about what's happened this season. And so I certainly want to know what you guys think about what Cierra had to say, and also your thoughts on this season and how you think the season is going to end. Are you team Nick Alandria? Are you voting for Amaya? Are you voting for Huda? Are you voting for Iris and Pepe? Are you voting for Shelly and Ace? Like, let me know what you guys think is about to happen this season in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.